welcome back to another Teacher Time with Kelsie. Today is our artist spotlight, so I have a brand new artist to share with you all. And I am really excited about this artist because it's actually one of my favorite ones. I think his work is really interesting and I think that you all will really enjoy it too. So can't wait to get started. Why don't you grab your drink and find your cozy spot and I can introduce you to our artist of the week, Pablo Picasso. Alright, now that you have seen some of Picasso's work, I want to tell you just a little bit about him. So, Picasso started painting at a really young age. His dad was an artist, so Picasso was always really inspired by art, and he knew even when he was a kid that he wanted to be an artist too. So as soon as he could, he actually went to art school. And he learned a lot about different artists and their techniques and the types of paintings that they would do. But when he was at school, he also discovered that he didn't really like to paint the same way that a lot of artists did, and he kind of had his own techniques and ideas that he really wanted to try. So after he left school, Picasso kind of started to experiment with some different things. The first thing he experimented with was how to use color. And what he did is he would focus on using just one color that represented the way he was feeling. And he would just use different shades of it. So there was a time in his life when he was feeling really sad and he painted with only blue. And he just had dark blue, light blue, just different shades of blue, but the entire painting was blue. And a lot of people call that his blue period. So it's a time when he only used that in his paintings. But a little while after his blue period, he also had a period a period of time where he started to feel a lot happier. And instead of using shades of blue, he switched to using warm colors. So different shades of warm colors like red, pinks, and yellows. And that was called his rose period because it's the time when he only used warm colors in his paintings. So it's kind of interesting. He really played around with a lot of ways that he could use color and specifically how he could use color to help people understand how he was feeling when he was creating paintings. The other thing that is really interesting about him is after he kind of explored the ways that you could use color and just some other techniques and things, he discovered his very own technique, which is something that he used for a really long time. Him and another artist actually discovered something called cubism. And what cubism is it's taking a picture of something, maybe like a person's face, and breaking it up into different shapes. So it's almost like if you had a picture of someone's face and you cut it up into a bunch of pieces. You broke it up into a lot of different pieces and shapes, and then putting it back together. So he would break a person's face up into a bunch of different pieces, and then he would put it back together kind of like a puzzle, but it didn't always fit together exactly the right way. So sometimes parts of the face would be a little higher or lower. Sometimes he might switch them and make them on opposite sides. Sometimes he might kind of twist them a little bit or move them around, and that's how he created his work. So it's really interesting. Some of you probably noticed in the pictures that I showed you just a little while ago that a lot of his portraits that he did of people can look like people, but they also look a little funny. They don't quite look like a realistic picture of a person, but they look a little different. They have some funny shapes, they have some really interesting colors, and sometimes they have some lines and designs that you might not normally see there too. So that was a part of Cubism, and that was a lot of what Picasso's work with self-portraits and other things ended up being. And that is actually the type of work that we're going to explore a little bit more with our art experience today. So, for our art experience today, we are actually going to try to create a self-portrait by painting our reflection in the mirror. So, you are going to need a few different materials for this that I'll share with you later. But what I'd like you to do is really be able to take a close look at yourself in the mirror and practice that same thing that Picasso did when he saw a picture, where you actually break your face up into kind of different pieces, just like a puzzle. Maybe look at the different shapes that you see, like what shape your forehead is, the shape of your nose, maybe the shape of your cheeks, your chin, your lips. You can even think about your hair, what kinds of lines and shapes make up that, and see if you can paint that by just kind of following your reflection in the mirror. So little by little, just adding those pieces. And we'll see if that can help us make our own self-portrait that looks a little similar to Picasso's style. So I think once you gather up the materials that I will share with you now, we will get started. Here you go. For this project, you won't need too many materials. You'll need a mirror. This will be your canvas, and you'll be painting over your reflection on the mirror. You'll also need some paint. Thicker paint works a little bit better on the mirrors, so if you have acrylics, that might be best. You may also want to choose your colors based on how you're feeling today, just like Picasso often did. Finally, you'll need a jar of water, some napkins or paper towels, and paintbrushes. This will help you clean your paintbrush in between colors. You can start by looking closely at your face and choosing the section that you want to start painting. I started with my forehead and just used the paintbrush to follow the outline and fill it in. Next, you can choose another section of your face to start painting. I decided to work my way down and paint my nose next. Remember as you're painting that the shapes don't have to be exact. You're just kind of following the outline and seeing what happens when you play with it a little bit. I continued my way down by painting my lips next. If you notice, each time I paint a new section of my face, I also try to switch colors too. Once I had painted my main features, I went in and added a little color to fill in the rest of my face. I tried to add a color that I didn't use very much of so that it would really make the other shapes stand out. From there, I added my neck, my hair, and a little bit of my shirt to finish off my self-portrait. You can add these pieces too, or you can stop at any point that you want. This is your self-portrait, so you can make it look any way that you want it to. Now that you've added your finishing touches, you're done. And that is your Picasso-inspired painting. I had a lot of fun with that experience. I was laughing a lot, and I thought it was so interesting to see the different shapes that I could make in my face just by following the lines and kind of the outlines that I saw. So it did feel a little silly sometimes to kind of see my face in all these different colors and kind of this weird way. But I really enjoyed doing that too. So I hope that you all enjoyed that experience and that you were able to have fun and get creative with it too. And if you have any pictures that you would like to send me of what you made, I would love to see them. And yeah, until next time, I am so happy that you got to join me, and I look forward to seeing you on another Teacher Time with Kelsie. All right, have a good day.